You sent it on Facebook. I know. That's what happens.
Studying the
with two phones. Make sure you're on top, right?
You're on.
So that you don't have to over talk.
Okay, good.
I can see who's on.
Doing all right. I don't have to say it right. You're like I said at the beginning.
Supposed to be with like Tris Cook.
Or something.
Always hope, right?
I give nothing.
I don't like that answer.
That he was gonna have-
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
I would like to call the May 2025 PeADD board meeting to order. And to lead us in our pledge, we have Judge Stan Humphreys from Trigg County, and then followed by invocation by Judge Todd Mansfield from Todd County.
Pledge allegiance to
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That's great. Heavenly Father, we want to thank you for this day, for allowing us to come together for our communities. We pray that you will bless the food that's been given to us today in the hands that prepared it. Pray that you'll be with each one that is here today. Please watch over us as we leave, be with those that couldn't be here today. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Thank you. Next, we have our approval of the minutes, and they were previously sent out, and then they're in your packet. Thank you, Mayor. And a second.
Second.
Okay, thank you. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, and then we have our financial report with Mayor Kevin Cotton.
Want to give a big shout out to Alicia.
Good job. You got it. Yes, give a big shout out. to her.
So we should be at 83.33%, in line with the budget. However, we're at 68%, so we're significantly below. Our revenue, we've only billed for 62%. A lot of that's due to the veteran program that we have and the process that it takes to get that revenue back in. So everything's within the budget amount or coming in under budget. I wish all of our budgets could look like that. I'd be more than happy to take any questions so that Alicia can answer those. Madam Chair, thank you.
Thank you. Can we get a motion to approve the minutes? Thank you, Judge. Second? All right. All in favor? Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Okay, moving to our federal and state reports. First, we have Ms. Morgan Albee with Senator Mitch McConnell's office.
Good afternoon, everyone. Just to follow up on the FEMA major disaster declaration request that I mentioned at last month's meeting. As most of you probably know, since that time, the initial request was partially granted. Those original 13 counties that were requested for public assistance stemming from, or for individual assistance, excuse me, stemming from the April floods that was approved by the president. Those both those original public assistance requests are still pending. And also since that time, the governor has made a couple of additional requests to add additional counties, both for public and individual assistance, some for one or the other, some for both. I have that comprehensive list that I think I forwarded out to most of the judges last week if your county was included in one of those requests. If not, just let me know. I'm happy to send that to you. As far as a timeline on a decision for those additional counties, not sure, but as soon as we hear a decision, obviously I'll forward that out to all of you. The only other thing I would really note is I know there's a lot happening at the federal level, a lot of conversations surrounding the status of various funding programs. I know we've had this conversation, Jason. And all I can really say is, if you have any questions or want to, point out any particular funding programs that are of interest or concern to you, I'm happy to flag those for the DC office. But, there's a lot up in the air right now. So just happy to have those conversations with you all, about, what's important to you, what you're concerned about. Always happy to come and sit down, and talk further. Otherwise, always happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Austin Witherington with Congressman Comer's office.
We're glad to be back, as I've been told many times by my colleagues in the back. It's been many months since I've been here. So glad to be back, and thank you. Thank you. Yep. Just wanna really quickly introduce Ann Claire Lutz. She is a Hopkins County native. So we are extremely excited to have her intern for Congressman Comer this summer. She'll be great and be helpful for me, especially for just getting out and getting around to many events that go on throughout the district. She is currently a freshman at Lipscomb University. So excited and glad to have her based out of the Madisonville office as well. As Morgan said, just want to reiterate, everything that Morgan said. Also, negotiations on the reconciliation bill and the budget bill are still ongoing. So please, if anything that you all are hearing, please flag for us as well, as, we'd be glad to have those conversations and just be aware of some of the concerns that you all have, or anything that we can clarify, and be glad to do that as well. I just want to give a big shout out to Amy Frog as well and the PeADD staff. You have been great to work with. We really do appreciate everything that you all have done in this budget process and getting everything together, and very easy for submission. So really appreciate that as well. And just wanted to flag that Congressman Comer joined with other members asking Secretary Hegseth to expedite the funding timeline for the air traffic control tower at Fort Campbell. That's a priority for the Friends of Fort Campbell, as well as this committee as well. So just wanted to flag that. And then also, lastly, just excited for President Trump's announcement last week with two of Congressman Comer's former employees back during his Ag Commissioner days as being appointed to the USDA. David Wayne as the FSA State Director, and then of course Travis Burton as the new USDA Rural Development State Director. So super excited for those announcements. They'll be great additions to the team, and looking forward to working with both of them to help strengthen this area. Again, thank you all for the opportunity to be here. If we can do anything or be of assistance, please don't hesitate to reach out.
Thank you, Austin. Next, we have Miss Martha Jane King from our governor's office.
Well, it's good to see everybody. I'm sorry I missed the last meeting. Sometimes things happen, especially as we all get older. That would be me. Thank you, Madam Chair. So I want to start out and say how much I appreciate the emergency management directors in all our counties in Kentucky. As we see things that have happened time and time again, our local people really step up. I want to just say a good shout out to Todd in Muhlenberg County, Ricky King. He's trying to figure out if we're a kin judge, so he hadn't worked it out yet. But he does a great job. You guys have a wonderful Facebook page, and we can find out every day what's going on, and it really keeps the people involved. And Todd County is getting a new emergency management director, Ashley Groves. He's experienced in the military, worked with emergency management here in Kentucky. And I know that they're going to do a great job, and the other counties do too. But as Morgan alluded to, with everything that's going on in Washington, we know we can depend on our local people, and it's so important that we reach out and appreciate them. Governor Beshear, Department of Local Government, our emergency management here in Kentucky, they are all resources that we have. So let's don't let what's going on a federal level get in the way of knowing what we've got right here. We've got a great Pennyroyal Area Development District and all the resources we need, and the federal will sort itself out. So let's make sure that we appreciate and support the groups that we have. Local government, thank you so much. All the judges and the mayors and the magistrates and fiscal court, we really appreciate it. I just want to make a big plug for the Governor's Local Issues Conference. If you've not been, please plan to come. It is worth the trip. You will learn so much. You'll get to meet people you have not met before. And it's really important that you go and get a better idea about how things are working on the state level. The registration's open now on the the website. It's August the 13th through the 15th at the Galt House in Louisville. So please plan to come. We'll all be there. Alex will be there and I'll be there. That's enough reason for you to come. So we hope to see you there. Thank you.
Martha Jane, if I may add, in your packet, you will find more information about the Local Issues Conference. And especially to our citizen members, I would draw your attention, here's the flyer. If I would draw your attention to this bottom paragraph, which we definitely encourage our citizen members, if you have the time and are willing, to attend the Local Issues Conference as well. And we will take care of those travel expenses for each of you. But that way you can sort of see what our local officials, our elected officials are talking about and working on every day. So just wanted to remind our citizen members that if you would like to attend the Governor's Local Issues Conference to talk to Melissa, we do have a room block already there at the Galt House. And while I do have the microphone, if I may, I do want to thank Austin and Morgan and Martha Jane and Alex. I burned their phones up, especially probably here more recently with things taking place at the federal level for sure. But they always take my calls and they're always willing to have a conversation and try to understand what I'm trying to say and then take that information back to their folks, whether that be in DC or in Frankfurt. I just wanted to tell you all, thank you for everything that you do, your honesty with us, with what's taking place, and always good to see you.
All right, thank you. Next, we have Mr. Lane Davis with the Small Business Administration.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Lane Davis. I work with the Small Business Administration Office of Disaster Recovery and Resilience. I'm here to kind of just give a soft introduction as to why we're here due to the recent tornadoes, flooding, landslides, all that, as well as to give a brief overview of what exactly we do. So anybody in the community that can benefit from this can take initiative. So a lot of misconception about the SBA is that we only work with businesses. That's not true. We work with businesses, nonprofits, homeowners, and renters. So what we provide is disaster recovery loans. With these loans, each entity has its own kind of terms and conditions. So for businesses and nonprofits, you could be eligible up to $2 million for physical damage as well as economic injury. For homeowners, you can access up to $500,000 to repair or replace damaged property, and then an additional $100,000 to cover personal property losses. That would be things like furniture, vehicles, appliances. And then for renters, it would just be the $100,000 for personal property. Unique aspect of our loans is the first year is deferred, so there is no interest accrued nor any payment required. And the terms are up to 30 years. So you have a lot of leg room to kind of work out. What I like to say is apply as soon as possible. If you get approved for X amount and a year later, you realize you don't really need it, you just pay it right back. And then for anyone who does have questions or needs this resource, you can always call 800-659-2955 or visit our website at sba.gov/disaster. You can also locate disaster recovery centers on the website and through our customer service line. And lastly, I would like to request that if there are any community engagement projects, any kind of resource fairs that If you could please contact me personally or just have anyone from the SBA involved, we would greatly appreciate that. We do want to be involved firsthand in the community's recovery process. That's all I have for you. Thank you so much.
Wayne, how do we get in touch with you directly?
I can give you my card.
Okay.
I'll do that right now.
Thank you, Lane. Next, we have Mr. Brian Blank with the Kentucky Fish and Wildlife.
You want to introduce yourself?
Well, yeah,
Talk about which fish are biting.
yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Jason, we were talking a little bit earlier. I'm Brian Blank. I'm with Fish and Wildlife. Last Wednesday, I was over at the purchase meeting, and the good thing is I spent 2.5 hours out on the lake before the meeting. I'm here to tell you, if you're of this ilk, the red ear or shellfish are biting like crazy, and the big bluegill are biting. So some of the folks over at the purchase region, when I was over there last week, wanted to cut the meeting short, but boat ramps, areas where you have maybe you're acquiring some land where there's ponds, you want to look at like maybe public access, anything like that, I'm here to help you with. I've been with the agency for going on 16 years. I ran the marketing division for 15 years. And we've had 2 or 3 times each year where I do presentations to the county judges or the magistrates at various conferences. And we get a lot done in a very short period of time. Then I go away and do my thing. And a lot of you all do have connections with our agency, and that's great. Continue to have those. But I'm here for you all so that if you need one-stop shop of, I need this question answered, or, we have this opportunity. If you need our engineering expertise, our fisheries expertise, our wildlife management expertise, I can help plug you all in to those resources and do it in an efficient manner. So that's why I'm here. I appreciate the time, and thanks again for everything that you all do, because we couldn't provide the opportunities and have the participation that we have and create the lifetime memories for people without having roads and gravel and access and, the trash being picked up and these partnerships. So without you all here on the local level, we wouldn't be near as successful as we have been over the years. So I'm here to help in any way, and I appreciate the time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brian. Moving on to our staff reports, we have Ms. Amy Brogue with the Community and Economic Development.
I'm going to be very brief this afternoon. Just a reminder, if you all have recreational projects that are eligible under the Land and Water Conservation Fund or Recreational Trails Program, that those applications, that application period has been extended until June the 15th. So if you are interested in submitting the proposals for new projects or resubmitting proposals that were turned down last year, please get with us over the course of the next week or so we can get those started for you. In your packet, you do have a copy of the intergovernmental review. If you have any comments regarding the projects that are presented there, please let us know and we'll get those submitted to the Department for Local Government. I just want to thank you all that attended our Regional Transportation Committee and our Water Management Council meetings on the 30th of April. The shift process has officially ended as of this past Friday for the sponsorship of transportation projects. Each of the projects that you all selected during that meeting have been sponsored and will be moving forward to the cabinet for their ranking process. Once we receive those projects back with their scores, which we anticipate receiving those over the summer, the next step in the process will be for us to come together again for you all to boost your selected projects. So look for some information coming out this summer, maybe in the August timeframe. We'll get a meeting set for you all to go through that boost process. Finally, as most of you all know, during the post 2021-2022 storms, we took some direction from our local judge executives and emergency managers regarding capabilities to strengthen regional preparedness and long-term recovery activities in the region. So through a partnership with the Economic Development Administration, we were able to secure some funding for a full-time disaster resiliency coordinator here to serve the region. In November of last year, we introduced Ms. Jamie Embry, who joined our Community and Economic Development team as our full-time disaster recovery or disaster resiliency coordinator. And I want to ask Ms. Jamie to come up and introduce herself and give us a little overview of what she's been working on.
Thank you, Amy. So when I accepted this job 6 months ago, I came in with 3 years of experience providing disaster recovery and response services to local communities. I was hoping to slowly build this position around the vision that Jason, Amy, and I had. But fast forward, and I've added 2 more federal declarations under my belt with a broader vision of building community resilience through all disaster phases. So the purpose of having a disaster resiliency coordinator is so that we can support and guide regional communities in increasing resiliency across all disaster phases, which include mitigation, preparedness, response, and recovery. PeADD is able to offer cost-effective solutions to our counties by providing access to specialized expertise without local communities having to hire dedicated staff. This also allows us to provide comprehensive support such as disaster funding expertise and application assistance, FEMA public assistance documentation, emergency response and recovery strategies, and training and resource development. Hold on. Okay, yeah. So, I've missed it. Okay. Sorry, I've got my little notes here so I can tell y'all exactly what's going on because I'm still learning too. So the core responsibilities are to provide technical expertise and support, facilitate specialized technical assistance and training, to serve as a liaison between communities and agencies such as KYM, FEMA, local emergency management agencies, and to support economic resilience initiatives. And also to provide funding and resource management, such as developing comprehensive funding packages, navigating complex federal funding requirements, prepare applications to FEMA, Kentucky Office Homeland Security, and KYM, and also to administer funded projects and ensure compliance. Planning and development functions allow us to assist with regional planning by developing and updating regional hazard mitigation plans, prioritizing critical infrastructure improvements, creating tailored community solutions, and preventing duplication of benefits, while also allowing us to build partnerships with agency relationships, build partnerships for larger regional projects, and assistance during disaster response and recovery efforts. We also provide project development services. There's a whole long list here. Some of the different projects that we're working on are community safe rooms. We've helped with warning systems. We've helped to get equipment for different things, emergency management. We're able to identify the community safety needs. We track your application successes and project outcomes. And we are just a resource to support everything that you all do. So the program goals are to enhance local government disaster services, increase funding applications for mitigation projects, maximize federal resources for community resilience, and deliver specialized training and certification. The expected outcomes are to enhance the regional disaster preparedness, increase stakeholder collaboration, integration of resilience into development plans, improve public awareness and education, faster, more effective disaster response, and more efficient resource allocation. I think that Malcolm Turnbull says this best when we learn from every natural disaster, whether it's a fire or a flood, we learn something from it so we can respond to the next one better. And this is what this job is all about, is helping you all to respond better. So how do we work for you? 6 months ago, I would have just read these from the slide, but Mother Nature decided to show up twice in the last 3 months, and she laughed at my definition of slowly building this position. The vision of how we work for you quickly became a reality. After a disaster event, county emergency management directors are contacted to offer assistance with response and recovery effort, whether that be helping with damage assessments, collecting information to send to the state so resources will start flowing, or offering guidance on FEMA applications for public and individual assistance. Also follow along with all the regulations and changes that are going on and how it's going to affect our communities. It's contacting regional partnerships to secure 2 weather radios after the judge executive and emergency management director call with an immediate need, and then searching for funding opportunities to buy weather radios. Having the ability to quickly compile a list of contractors because the judge exec is in the middle of a disaster emergency and department crews have been working nonstop for the last 24 hours. My life goal did not include knowing all about water pumping operations, okay? But here I am killing it. I mean, really, how many people can tell you that water is being pumped 1.1 miles away from a neighborhood with a 12-inch pipe? Or better yet, riding through floodwater in a side-by-side to capture damages in hopes of future mitigation projects. It's participating on daily KYM County disaster calls to be one step ahead of needs to prepare for needed support and assistance. These are just small snippets of examples of how we work for you. Not even going to lie. All this I just named, this is a typical 7.5-hour day, what it looks like. And this is just response and recovery. We haven't even had a chance to work on other disaster phases. So when do you contact us? Every single time that there's a disaster happening, you can call us, your emergency managers can call us, or call me. We help with planning disaster mitigation projects. We help seeking that emergency management funding and doing applications and walking alongside the documentation needed. We assist with updating your emergency plans. You can call us during disaster response and recovery. Some of my counties, I have seen you all more than I ever have. Judge Gillum, I mean, like, I've asked him to set me up an office down there. And sometimes I joke that I'm not really sure, you know, Jason signs my paychecks or my emergency managers, but it's okay. And then for training and technical assistance, we make sure that when they identify a training that they need or a certificate that needs to be brought, we want to bring those trainings here so that there's not barriers in transportation and time away from your areas and people having to travel to Frankfurt, Lexington, and Bowling Green. So again, when a disaster happens, you hear it's coming, go ahead and make that phone call because I'm already up and tracking every single thing. Thank you all.
Thank you, Jamie and Amy. Next, we have Ms. Jill Collins with our area agency on housing and independent living.
Good afternoon. Going to provide just a quick update on kind of where we left off last month as it pertains to budget for the new year moving forward at the federal level. So what we know at this time, and we get new information every day, but we do know that the Administration for Community Living is going to be dismantled and kind of shifting those programs to other entities. We do know that those programs that are moving over to CMS include our Title III-B supportive services, our Title III-E family caregiver supportive services, and those programs moving to ACF, which is the Administration for Children and Families, include our Title III C1 congregate meals, our Title III C2 home delivered meals, and our NSIP money, which helps to support a nutrition program. One of the other pieces that this is not confirmed. There was no budget appropriated to some of these programs here included in our Title III-D programs. long-term care ombudsman, SHIP, and our ADRC. However, we don't have any confirmation on that. We feel like it's business as usual. That's what we're moving forward. Every day is business as usual. And until we receive something in writing otherwise, then we're just monitoring this right now. But one thing that we are doing, we are staying in close contact with our legislators. I did write a letter that went out to all of our federal delegation, and you do have a copy of that in your packet, which you may want to look at that so you can see a little bit more in detail some of the things that we're really advocating for. One of the main things is, even though ACL is going to be dismantled, we would like to see all those programs shifted to one other entity instead of broken down into two. That just helps for a more streamlined oversight and budgetary process. But you can look at this in your packet and read that a little closer. Again, just on what we're seeing out of what came out on this fiscal year 26 skinny budget. One thing that we do want to point out that is specific to the programs that are part of the Area Development District is our CSEP program. That's our Title V program. Again, we don't know any definite details on that, but we are monitoring that. But moving forward, as I said, we're just operating that with business as usual. Under the other concerns, and I've already mentioned this, ACF is the Human Services Agency that we feel is better suited to administrate the Older Americans Act programs. So we are advocating for all those programs to be moved to that one agency as opposed to splitting between the two. And then the other important piece is the advocacy needed and those letters that are going out to the legislators. That has been taken care of on our part. I think Jason's been having some meetings. I've had some discussions as well. If things were to change moving forward, if we needed the board to draft a letter to provide to those legislators, then we may be circling back around to you all for that. But right now, we're just watching everything to monitor closely. Just a lot of unknowns at this point. May is Older Americans Month, and so we are business as usual with a lot of activity and a lot of events in our area. And so you can check out our website for all the different activities and events that we have going on throughout our 9 counties during the month of May in honor of Older Americans Month. We're very proud to be the designated area agency on aging for over 50 years for the penny roll, and we do a great job of advocating and serving those in our communities that are aging and those that have disabilities. We will also be having our annual district-wide training at Lake Barkley on May 21st. That will include all of my staff, our provider staff, our advisory council, and all of our volunteers. We will also have a special volunteer recognition that day as well. So if any of you all are in the area, feel free to drop in at Lake Barkley Convention Center to attend that. The other items in your packet that I want to point out include our activity report for the month of March. We have a lot going on, and so this can give you a better idea of what our staff are doing. And then also our wait list report is in there, and that's broken down by county. If you have any questions about that, you can let us know. And then I do have 2 new staff that I would like to introduce today. The first one is Miss Amber Peatpool, and she started last week. And she's our new Home and Community-Based Waiver Program Support Specialist. That is a brand new position that we've developed here internally to help support our Medicaid waiver program. So Amber, welcome and thank you. Our next new staff member is Miss Jessica Robinson. Jessica is a case manager for our Home and Community-Based Medicaid Waiver Program, and she's been with us about a month now, maybe a little less. So thank you for being here, Jessica. And as you can see, our programs continue to grow. We continue to add new staff. We will be adding 1 additional staff member during the month of June to support our veteran-directed care program. And probably during our July board meeting, I will be able to introduce her and explain a little bit more about what her position will entail, as it is a new position that we've developed as well. And outside of that, that is my report. And if anyone has any questions about any of our programs or activities, just feel free to let me know. Thank you.
Thank you, Jill. Next, we have Miss Becky Wells and Tammy Hyde with the workforce.
Hi, I'm Becky Wells. I'm your youth workforce specialist. The West Kentucky Workforce Board has funds from the Department of Labor specifically for youth. Youth is described as 16 to 24-year-olds. We have programs that we do maybe in a little different way than other workforce boards do across the state. We have a procurement process for ours, and you will see in your packet these are our current providers. We are coming up on the 4th year of this RFP cycle, and so budgets are getting prepared right now, and we're just moving forward as if we knew what we were gonna have, but that's all right, because we're gonna be serving people and serving the communities. What we mainly do with our youth programs, short-term training. We provide short-term training, CDL, CNA, phlebotomy, for example, for high-demand sectors. Any short-term training. If someone has gone so far in their training but had to drop out due to lack of funds, we can help them as well. So the short-term training, work-based learning, putting someone in a work experience so that they can learn how to be part of the workforce. And on-the-job training opportunities that help to give a little incentive to a business to put some of these inexperienced young people in a job. We all remember our first jobs and how many things you learn. It's not just the job, you learn to go to work. So that is basically what we are doing, but I would be happy to go into more detail. I get all excited about what we do in our programs. They said hello, and I immediately jumped into, hey, we need to help you guys. So give me a call, email, and we'll be glad to help. Thanks.
I'm Tammy Hyde, and I would just like to say, on behalf of the Workforce Board, we do appreciate our legislatures and the funding that they've allowed us to have through our Putting Young Kentuckians to Work grant. And I can talk about the grant, but the real proof of it is how we serve our people and what that looks like. And so this is Caleb Bass, and he was unemployed, and he had graduated high school in 2022, and he'd been in and out of different jobs, but he couldn't find something that he really liked and enjoyed. And in our workforce area, we cover the 17 counties of the Penny Ryle and Purchase areas. So he went to work for Progress Rail, and he completed his on-the-job training with Progress Rail. So employers have an opportunity to come in and talk with our people and see who might be a fit for them. And that gives them an opportunity to try them out and see if they might work for them and what that might look like. And a lot of times they like the work that they're doing and they want to keep them on full time. And that's the goal of this and on the job training contract is that you keep our person on full time when they finish their training so that you have a good, successful, substantiated employee at the end of it. So this is Caleb, and he's still working at Progress Rail, and he's been there since the first of the year, and he's excited about his job and the efforts that he does there and what he can do. We also have Jordan. He went through an OJT with JTech, a local company here in Hopkinsville, and we had a few others to go through this same program who are also successful, but I can't show them all. They told me I only had a small amount of time, so I can only show 2 or 3. But Jordan is there, and he is enjoying his job, and he appreciated the opportunity to be chosen as a person to come in and set an example for what his peers might do and what he could do in the future. And JTech took a chance on the job training contract and Jordan and said, okay, this is a fit for us. We want to see how this works. And so he's very happy where he's at. And we can also, through this funding, put people into short-term training. So this is Caleb Young. He worked on his grandfather's farm, and as most of you know, if you work on a farm, you don't necessarily have to have a CDL unless you're driving a larger truck or what that might look like. But Caleb decided he didn't want to do farming all his life. He wanted to do something else. So he chose to go to CDL training. So through this funding, we were able to pay for his CDL training. He got his license and now he is working with Jones Brothers Towing and Trucking here in Hopkinsville. So our goal for this funding is to put people to work, help get them an upskill, help get them more training, help get them on the job training or what that might look like and put them back into the workforce and make them good stewards of this money and valuable employees of the community and people that something that they can be proud of themselves for accomplishments that they have made. And so that's what we're doing. So today we've been putting people in on the job training contracts. We have about 20 of those out there right now. So if you have an interest in doing that, seeing Tom Scholler, he'll be glad to work with you. This isn't specific to industry employers. It can be city, local, county government employment, depending on what you have in your agency or what that might look like. We'll be glad to help you with that. We also help with short-term training such as CDL, lineman, phlebotomy, CNA, EMT. We recently had a couple of people graduate from EMT school in Fulton, Kentucky, and that Ken-10 is the name of the schooling that they went to, and they've been very successful and they've gotten jobs out of that as well. And so we have put 46 people into this program. Several have completed and exited. And we're excited to say of the ones who have gone to training, whether it is classroom training, on the job training, or whatever they've done, they've come out, they've gotten employment, and they are giving back to their communities, and they're excited about this opportunity for what they can do. So if you have employers in your area who want to serve 18 to 24-year-olds, that's what this funding is targeted towards. And we appreciate the legislatures giving us the opportunity to be able to serve this group of people. We have this money for at least one more year, and we're hoping that it's extended past that, but we do have it for at least that. So keep that in mind. It's out there. If you all need something or we can help in some kind of way, please let us know that as well. Also in your packet, you have a flyer on the Quest grant, and Tom Scholler is the one that you would contact there. It is a different type of grant. It targets dislocated workers, people who've lost their job through no fault of their own, or people who have been long-term unemployed. So, and it's specific to on-the-job training contracts. So there's a flyer in your packet on that. So if you or other employers in your counties have an interest, please contact us. We'll be glad to help you with that. And then Tom couldn't be here today due to some sickness, so I'm going to give his quick update. We had a job expo in Madisonville on April the 22nd. We had over 300 people come through. There were over 20 employers there, so we were excited about that turnout. In Christian County, we had a regional job fair with Christian County and Trigg County. It was targeted towards high school students who were from Christian and Trigg counties that were getting ready to graduate high school, who wanted to go straight into employment. So some of those employers are taking advantage of the on-the-job training opportunity. Several of the students there that day have interviews lined up right after graduation to be able to start work in the next week or two upon the completion of their graduation. We did something very similar in Trigg County. It was a job fair and expo where there were over 20 to 25 employers and resources there. All the high school juniors and seniors came in, 212 of those came in, talked with the employers. It gives them an opportunity to interview on site, set up some co-ops for the fall, summertime jobs, those types of things. And then we opened it to the general public in the afternoon, and we had over 100 to attend that at the general public session. And then lastly, we have a job fair tomorrow in Muhlenberg County. So Ms. Karen Robinson, would you like to speak about that?
Yes, right now we have approximately 21 resources and employees that are registered. We do not charge to set up and recruit or share your service at our job fair. We're having it at the Badgett Center. I did include the address this time. We do, but sometimes Google does not like getting us to that location, and people end up on the other side of Greenville, but we come in off 181. But we also provide lunch and we don't charge a fee. So we'd love to have you, like, if you've got employers or resources that would like to come join us and hire amazing workers.
And there's a flyer in your packet on the job fair for tomorrow too, just for your convenience there. That's all I have. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them. Thank you.
Thank you all. Moving on to our new business, monthly code of ethics report. We have no issues to report, which is always good. And next we have our guest speaker today is Lieutenant David Donegan with the Salvation Army. Lieutenant Donegan is the corps officer that oversees the activities here in Hopkinsville. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all for inviting me today. I do want to apologize. Typically, my wife, she would be here with me, and she's a lot better speaker than I am. However, this morning, we visited the Christian County Justice Center to finalize the adoption of our daughter. So she is taking Grandma, Mama, and Papa back to the airport this morning. So I do want to apologize that she wasn't here this morning, and I think you guys can understand why. But so we were blessed this morning for our family. So please excuse her absence today. Two disclaimers. One, no, I am not from Kentucky. I am becoming a Kentucky fan. I did live in New Orleans as a child. So if you want to know where the accent comes from, it comes from New Orleans and South Florida. So that's a common questions that I get after I generally speak is, are you from Louisiana? Yes, I lived there as a child. My father was in the Marine Corps, so we were stationed there as a child. So just so those are my disclaimers, just answer those questions. By trade, I am a pastor, so I'm going to try not to make you fall asleep in what I want to bring to you today. But I do want to share with you the work that the Salvation Army is doing, not only in Hopkinsville, but in the Penny Route District. And people don't realize when I say Salvation Army, and I said it at our table, what comes to mind is the little shelter that sits on the corner of 7th Avenue, right? Or our store that was on the corner of 7th and Clay Street. And that's typically what comes to mind, right? Is that's where we went and we either donated stuff or we went thrifting, or it's the shelter on the corner. But to us, it's much more than that. For us, my wife and I, when we moved here, we wanted to look at an opportunity, as I told you, and I led with the adoption because my daughter grew up here, right? She's 15 years old. And I looked at my daughter and I said to her, I said, Tara, I said, Daddy is going to make this place better in case you decide to move back here, right? Daddy's going to make this place to where when you come back, you can say, my parents made an impact. And so I want her to be proud of me. And in doing that, we had a vision, right? But let me tell you a little bit about what a month looks like in the Salvation Army. In our soup kitchen, each month, each day, 365 days a year, we don't close for a holiday. We serve a hot meal. Miss Sheila, she makes sure that when you come in, you got a warm protein, 2 vegetables, and even a cupcake and a cookie. And last month, we served 4,226 lunches just in our little soup kitchen. In addition to that, across what used to be our family store, we gave out 3,969 bags of groceries 3 days a week on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and served over 763 families in 1 month. In our little shelter on the corner, which if you walk in it, it's kind of compact, but we served 758 nights of shelter. Not just to homeless men and women, but to children. We made sure that the children got up the next morning and went to school. We made sure that the kids' clothes were clean. We made sure that they had a warm meal and a warm supper, because in addition to these 426 meals that are served, we also serve breakfast and dinner to our clients that are residing in our shelter. Miss Sheila is phenomenal. If you ever get a chance, I want you to shake her hand, because Miss Sheila is phenomenal. She makes sure these babies have what they need. And that's a typical month. And so what does that mean? What do we look at the Salvation Army? Well, let me tell you a little bit about that shelter, right? That shelter is far more than just a place where people can come to get a place to sleep. That shelter is a gateway to what is offered through this little shelter and what we can do for them. We look at the shelter as a place for someone to come in and get off the streets, because for many, homelessness, we think of, we get that stigma, oh, they just want to live on the streets, they're lazy. You know, Miss Kelly came in and she's a mother around 31 years old with 2 kids. Father died in a car accident. She became homeless because she was a stay-at-home mom. Where is she to turn with no family? Is she lazy? No. She's a product of what happened in her life. And a lot of the people that we visit, that come and visit us, are just a simple product of things that happen. Loss of a job, loss of a loved one, a loss of income. And they just pushed it as far as they could, and they come in to our shelter. But we know shelter is not the end goal. It's not what we don't want to put a Band-Aid on it. So one of the programs we have available for our families that come in is our rapid rehousing program. This program helps individual families move quickly from homelessness into permanent housing through financial assistance and support services. We remove barriers like security deposits, past evictions, utility deposits, helping people ensure housing, and more importantly, stay housed. Rapid rehousing is about getting people back into community and supporting them with case management, employee assistance, life skills, so they don't return to homelessness. Though you get those that are easily to adjust, we also have those that need constant care. People that come in that just can't seem to get it right. So what do we do with those individuals? We have what we call permanent supportive housing. For individuals who face the most significant challenges, each such as chronic homelessness, mental health conditions, physical disabilities, we provide permanent supportive housing. This program combines affordable housing with a wraparound services tailored to each individual need. It's not just about putting someone in an apartment. It's about helping them heal. It's about helping them grow and become self-sufficient. Our team works closely with these individuals to ensure they have access to healthcare, counseling, and transportation, and community integration. Stability, it takes time. And we are committed for the long haul. And this just isn't in Hopkins. This is the entire PeADD district. One of our most proud programs that we have is our SSVF program. We run 3 offices, one in Paducah, Madisonville, and Hopkinsville. And the SSVF is the support services for veterans families. We must not forget those who have given so much. The Salvation Army Support Services for Veterans Family Program is to prevent and end homeless among veterans. You see, you return back. We live in a community full of vets. And when you come back from combat, it's hard to reintegrate into society. So you don't know where to turn. Trust is a big issue. You're trained mentally to survive. And that's what a lot of our vets do. But building a relationship with them, we're able to take our men and women who served our country and found themselves in a crisis. Some struggle with PTSD and others have difficulties just transitioning back to civilian life. Still others simply fall through the cracks. And through this program, we are able to provide targeted support, including temporary financial assistance, case management, in connection to VA benefits. Our goal is to rapidly rehouse homeless veterans and stabilize those at risk of losing their house. In just this past year, we've helped over 88 homeless veterans in the PeADD and Purchase area district that were living on the streets that are now thriving and living in our communities. We were able to take those families. We were able to take 120 families over the past 12 months who were homeless, who are now living in stable housing through our rapid rehousing and our programs that we have, with less than 1%. 1% less than returning to chronic homelessness. It's about making change. I told you I came here and my goal and my promise to my children, because as a Salvation Army officer, we move. I'm here probably 3 to 4 years. But what if my children decide to come back? We always say we want to leave it better than what it was when we got here. That's my goal. And so what I want to show you today is something that our board has really pushed me forward. It really took an opportunity to say, Lieutenant, We get you officers that come through here and you're here for a season and everything seems to stay the same. What are you going to do different? What are you going to do different? What are you going to do that the others couldn't do? And as I meet with individuals and we talk about it, we want to make the Salvation Army to be a collaboration of community impact. None of what we do would even be possible without the collaboration of others. We have workforce development programs. We have adult senior citizen programs, all represented in this room. We want to be that partner amongst each and every person in here. We want to be that partner that works alongside our city officials, local churches, landlords, healthcare providers. We want to be that partner that work alongside other nonprofits. Homeless, complex issue. It's not going to be solved in just simple silos. Together, we build a network of care. Whether it's through warming shelters during freezing nights, mobile outreach teams, connecting those living on the streets to employment workshops in the community. It's building together, and that's what my vision is. So how are we going to do that? One of the things I want to share with you is, and our judge executives have seen this, is this is my vision. If it works. You've seen our building. Our shelter was built in 1975. Our Life Navigation Center, where a person can come in to receive assistance, was built in 71 years ago. They're old buildings. So what's my vision? My vision is to make a community impact center, life navigation, right? We call it the Life Nav Center, where a person can come in and we as a community come together under one roof. Whether it just be through, whether someone's there for a couple of hours a week, whether it's someone that's there full time. What my vision is that we break down the silos and that we come together under one roof to provide assistance for those that are in need, for those that want to get out of their current situation. We know we have those that choose to be homeless, and that's what they want to do. It's part of what their makeup is. But you have those that don't. And that's what this building is. This building is a community building for everyone to come and enjoy, to come and be a part of, to have access to. And that's what my vision. Now, whether it becomes a reality during my time here, I don't know. But this is what I want. If you look here, this is the bottom floor. This is the opportunity where the person can come in and say, I need help. We have a dining room. We have meeting rooms available that we can bring someone in and they can sit down with an employer, with a person that can help them find a job, to get a nice warm meal, to wash their laundry, the simple basic needs. And then if you go to the second floor, and this is that little shelter on 7th Avenue. This is that little store on 7th Avenue. If we go to the next page, we see a little more up close, and you'll see the dining room, the meeting room, the facility for our children who are housed in our shelter. They didn't choose to be there, to have a place where they can come and to just be a kid, to play on the playground. But more importantly, provide dignity. To provide dignity, because it's not a place where I'm living in the shelter. I'm just staying here for a moment. I'm staying here for a moment. You go to the aerial view and there's this big white box is the library on the corner. So it kind of tells you where we're at. The green space around, the change in what the physical look of that little corner looks like now. Then we go to our second floor where we're able to house men and women's dorms, family rooms. The biggest issue that we face is accessibility. The person comes in at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, they leave at 7 o'clock in the morning. How many case managers you know work that hours? None. So when they go out into the streets, where do they go? They're next to your businesses. They're walking up and down asking you for change, right? They're asking, they're taking over our parks. My goal is to make this 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, remote access as to where a child who is out of school on Saturday don't have to get up at 7 a.m. and leave the show. They can sleep in and watch Scooby-Doo. My favorite show. But to make this more of a place where this is where I'm staying. And you know what? When we get out of here, my mom is going to be a better person. My dad is going to be a better person because we as a community have taken the holistic approach of ending homelessness. We're going to rip the Band-Aid off the amputation and put a permanent solution in place. And the Army wants to come alongside each one of you in this room to make this a reality, to make this a reality for each one of us, because it can happen. For 83 years, the Salvation Army has operated quietly in this community. For 83 years. Currently, right now, we have 9 households that we're about to rehouse this month alone. $3.5 million is what we put back into this community in paying rents, paying utilities, paying deposits. We're putting it back into the community. What does it do? On Saturday morning, when you take your family downtown, you get to enjoy that time. Because we're taking and providing a place for those that have need and not your local park. Not your local park. Because we're taking the holistic approach. We have 9 families. This past quarter, we've rehoused 54 families in a permanent supportive housing and 39 in rapid rehousing. Those are people that were homeless. And now they have stability. So when I tell you that, and as I close, I want you to know that the Salvation Army is just beyond that little shelter on the corner. It's just beyond that store where you can drop off those things that you don't want anymore. Salvation Army is a partner, community partner. And we have services in every county in the PeADD district. Salvation Army's mission is to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ. And more importantly, to meet human needs in his name without discrimination. And the mission has never been more relevant than it is today. So let us continue to be the light in darkness and a refuge for the weary and the voice of the voiceless. Thank you.
Thank you, Lieutenant, for being here, and thank you, Judge Gillum, for that recommendation. You know, I often forget how closely our programs are aligned, and I look forward to partnering with you more on things in the future. Just a few things before we get out of here. Our contracts that we have with the Department for Aging and Independent Living, you all will remember this from years past, but they once again require a board training component with those contracts. And so probably sometime this afternoon or maybe tomorrow, Melissa will be sending out an email link to you for that training. If you all could just as soon as possible, go ahead and get that training completed. We have to have that completed, Jill, by the end of the fiscal year. Is that correct? But we would like to go ahead and get that done as soon as possible. If you have any questions or have any problems accessing that training, just let Melissa know and we can make sure that gets done. A couple of other announcements. For those of you on our executive committee, we will be meeting the latter part of next month for our annual budget workshop to go over that. So more than likely it will be the 3rd week of June. So be on the lookout for that from Melissa regarding that meeting. Austin, one thing you did not say when introducing Ann Claire, and just, I'm going to put her on the spot here, but you didn't say that she was the former drum major of the, I don't know how many times, state championship band in Madisonville. So that's right. And I can say that because my daughter was under her for a time. So you've got a good one there. So Congratulations, Aunt Claire.
Thank you so much. I
Good,
appreciate
good
that.
good to see you again. One final thing, hopefully you all received your formal invitation to our annual dinner that's coming up next month, the second Monday of June. We will not meet here on that Monday. That for lunch, we will meet at the convention center that evening. So, clear your calendars and send in those RSVP cards so we can have an accurate count on that. Are there any questions for me or any of the other staff? None? All right. Well, thank you all for being here and I always appreciate your support.
Okay, if we have no other business to take care of, I need a motion to adjourn. Thank you, Judge. All right, and a second. All right, all in favor? All right.
So
It's
you
me.
picture-
Board members, we need to take a quick picture. I'm saying it's going to be quick. And to the judge executives, you have a disaster leadership council meeting here in this room
It's 1:30.
at 1:30 here in this room as well. Hope that helps.
If I get fired, they can figure out.
Thank you.
Well, they're probably not all here. Thank you. Holler at me if there's anything.
I will be there. People.
We're just peaceful.
He sits up front.
There you go.
Are you going up there? Thank you. I see him. I'm leaving tomorrow.
That's what I heard.
How you doing? Great. Keep them straight over there like. Yeah.
Okay. Board member.
That's a nice one. I just call me cake. So.
All right, if we can get the smallest in the back.
Sure.
Me.
Make it hard, Dave.
Yes, he is very passionate about college.
Yes, he did.
Very passionate. I'll have to connect the dots.
Presentation.
The tallest in black, I said, that's, I don't trust.
Yeah, he won't do it wrong.
It's so interesting.
Yeah, she's like. Talks girl like.
We got the chair.
Okay, so.
The shortest
Oh, yeah.
will get in the chair. Right? Up the top of the chair.
Stay in the chair.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I work here at the state. I wanted to give you my card. I'm new to the area, but I'm also a volunteer opportunities. You mentioned like referee. And I work from but yeah, so.
We're missing a few board members.
Yeah. Sometimes gotta. I know, yeah.
Yeah, you call.
Hey, bye. Amy. So where's the fire?
Same, major, and so we'll have another class together at some. Yeah.
We don't.
You were gonna say, but I'll. Thanks. Yes, no problem.
All the way right, we're like, that's.
Ideally.
All the way out.
Go ahead, I'll wait, go back out to the locker.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And we like, I would be.
Give me a chair.
That's the entertainment.
Yes, Paris. There you go. There you go. You take it, Josh. Same chair. You just want to make sure I'm in the middle instead of. Has nothing to do with my size.
Oh, you touched my heart.
I know. All of y'all.
I meant to say
Don't Try that. I would have to move. I'll have to.
You guys, are you there?
Yeah,
Ready for the
that's,
semester? Oh, that's good. At least it's not
Oh,
Kevin.
really? That's-
It's, now my youngest is freshman, IT at the university.
Not.
We fly her back.
It's not.
So.
A lot of my friends.
Yeah, they went.
So many good things.
And Carter was on the same. It's not really.
He does it every year.
Jason has to leave the room.
Yeah, yeah.
That's my thing.
Workers' comp claim coming, Jason.
Yeah.
Workers' comp claim.
Uh-oh.
So they didn't even have a report back then.
Always have to be right in the middle, don't you? She put me here.
So thank you for being there. I wanted to see what you guys would and.
That's hilarious. So that's interesting.
So money in both times. Yeah, they're like, come, and I'm like, so you need to that's why they do good for you, but I have no idea.
We're gonna make that. That's my. It's your, baseball playoff game. This guy, it's like he's looking up for a scope. Where'd he go?
Going the time way.
Well, that's good. Yep. But, we just- use that experience as you can.
I mean, I'll be happy to see you.
Yeah, yeah.
I went-
Yeah. So like I said.
Oh, yeah. We're
Having.
moving home. Well, it's good to get different not home. Kids.
I don't like 24 hours.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, I had
Yeah.
so I had to be there all morning, so. Be down there anyways.
His family. Good. Just outside.
As when I was.
Status. I mean, yeah, the same. Better make it.
So I feel like that's like, I don't know, I love to learn.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. It's not.
Oh, God.
And so, what I heard.
Exactly right.
Very nice to meet you. I talked. Dan.
Yes, we'll work it out.
Transportation.
Transportation.
Yeah, you tell us.